Good evening. I'm Bill Janes, the Director of the Office of Drug Control and the Assistant Secretary for Substance Abuse Mental Health in the Department of Children and Families. Welcome to the second annual Candlelight Vigil hosted by NOPE, Narcotic Overdose Prevention and Education, a vital organization in our efforts across Florida to prevent drug abuse and to provide services for families who have lost loved ones, provide education within our schools, and work on anti-drug legislation that will be preventative for drug abuse and assist drug control in Florida. Tonight's vigil is also occurring in Palm Beach County, Orange County, Martin and Polk counties in Florida, and Lawson County in California. NOPE has existed since 2002. Primary efforts are in dramatic presentations given middle schools, high schools, and our universities to protect our young people. This is a priority for our drug control strategy. They develop support materials, work diligently on anti-drug legislation. Notably, this year we are focused on prescription drug monitoring plan legislation that will better control prescription drugs, which have reached epidemic proportions in Florida. NOPE hosts different activities. There have been gala events that are festive in nature. Tonight's message is a more somber one: vigilance, a vigil, being watchful for a problem. And at no time has that problem with drug abuse been greater. This week, I have turned on the television and seen a movie that graphically depicts use of methamphetamine, prescription drugs among our youth. We have a Florida medical examiner report that's been released within the last 90 days. 8,620 Floridians have drug-related deaths. That means that at the time of death, there were drugs present in their body. We had over 800 deaths caused by cocaine. Methadone, a prescription drug previously used primarily for opiate addiction, but methadone is close behind cocaine with 780 deaths caused directly by that drug. There are significant education problems with the use of methadone. If we look at all prescription drugs and add OxyContin, hydrocodone, we find that prescription drugs cause 3 times the number of deaths of all illicit drugs combined. Prescription drugs abuse, prescription drug-related deaths are growing at a rate 3 to 5 times that of illicit drugs. At the same time, you and I can look in the paper, movements in some of our colleges and universities to lower the drinking age, medical marijuana being pushed. NOPE talks about 3 gateway drugs: tobacco, alcohol, marijuana, that can lead to other drug use. But those 3 drugs cause significant problems within our society. High school students today often embrace marijuana use over tobacco use. We are sending a message that tobacco is dangerous. Our young people understand they've been manipulated by the tobacco industry. They don't see the same problem with the alcohol industry. They don't see the dangers of marijuana. There's too much general acceptance. This is part of the overall problem. Attending tonight's vigil, we will have survivors who have lost children, an indescribable loss, or significant others. That pain is dramatic, long-lasting. We will also have individuals who are addicted to substances. Addiction means that each day they get up at some point, if not all day, craving the drug. And most of their activity during the day will be focused on acquiring the drug. They cannot control the amount of use. We mislead ourselves at times to think that we can consume 2 beers or 2 drinks and the evening passes with greater consumption. So our addict cannot control the amount that he or she is consuming. And finally, our addict will continue to use despite negative consequences. And these negative consequences can include loss of job, loss of home, loss of family, possibly loss of life. That's what NOPE is focused on, the education to prevent, to educate our young people in particular, but our families. What can the addict do? How can the addict seek treatment? How can the family help the addict get treatment. This is NOPE's message. This is their vital role in communities and in our great state. We also have participants in a NOPE effort. We have judges, law enforcement, family members who have joined us, some young people who understand the message or have suffered a loss. In the Office of Drug Control, rarely do I have a week go by that I don't get a call from a family who has suffered a tragic loss. There's little I can say. They often join me in our efforts to prevent drug abuse in our state, to prevent drug overdose. Despite this tragic news, there is great reason to be hopeful. One, look around you this evening. Those who have joined us are here for the same cause. They are committed to preventing, to educating, to stop drug abuse, to prevent drug overdose. We recently have seen federal legislation with substance abuse and mental health parity. That's critical. Substance abuse has never been included in legislation that deals with health care. Mental health was discussed a few years ago, but it was not included. Now they both are included. This is a critical step. NOPE's advocacy for substance abuse, mental health. And yes, mental health must always be included. Depression, drug use is often used to cope with the challenges of life, and we have great challenges today. There is great momentum in our state to pass the prescription drug monitoring plan. We've worked on this since 2001. It is my belief, with the efforts of organizations like NOPE, our legislators who today understand the message far better, our media who are providing tremendous visibility on the problem, and the fact that Florida looks at this at a much greater detail, I think we'll be able to pass the prescription drug monitoring plan, which will stop doctor shopping, pharmacy shopping, and some of the proliferation of prescription drugs. We will have much more to do with the internet, with prevention and education, but the monitoring plan is a key step. We also have just received the 2008 Florida Youth Substance Abuse Survey. For the first time in the history of this survey, we've had substantial drops in underage drinking and binge drinking. That's significant because binge drinking can be deadly in itself. But our young people are starting to get the message that there are risks with alcohol, with brain development, with safety in their community. That is encouraging. And finally, our leadership today in this effort is unprecedented. Governor Charlie Crist, Lieutenant Governor Jeff Kottkamp, Secretary George Sheldon, Secretary Walt McNeil in the Department of Corrections has indicated treatment over prison construction, reentry into our community with treatment to prevent substance abuse. Secretary Sheldon in the Department of Children and Families is emphasizing the importance of substance abuse mental health. Substance abuse is our society's #1 health problem. It's our #1 social problem, and it is recognized by those here tonight. There is hope. There is treatment. There are advocates. We have no greater advocates than NOPE. I'm honored that you would ask me to speak tonight to participate with you. Again, a candlelight vigil, watchfulness, a great problem, but a great effort by NOPE. Thank you and have a good evening.